Hello, welcome. It's me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Let's talk about the vibe in the sky for this week, and we're going to do horoscopes and tarot and more. So if you want to look at my previous video, I've already done a video on the astrology of the month of April 2023. Please look at that video. And also, I have another video that is just about a pick a card for astrology it's a pick a card for the tarot of April 2023 as well. So 2 videos pertaining to April's energy for you. And we are doing the horoscopes of this week. I'm breaking it down into weeks because it gets more impactful, more detailed, and more information for you. Also, I have a newsletter that I give out every week, so please sign up for that. Also, it is a way that I get to have more control over my followers. I don't know another term. Give me a better term. I will use it because I just want us to keep in touch, and I don't want social media to be in charge of the people I want to stay connected with. So my newsletters are free. They're very informative. You learn a lot. Do my newsletters. Also, I have a live tarot school coming up. So if you're into tarot and learning and wanting to learn how to be a tarot reader, look for that. Okay, so let's get started with this information. The transits I've already discussed in a previous video. So now we're going to talk about the Libra full moon. We have a Libra full moon and is in 16 degrees. In general, full moons can bring information to light. They serve as moments of release and prompt us to create more balance in our life. Really dealing with harmony between the home and professional life, male and female, because you're dealing with it's an opposition when you have a full moon. So you have the female representing the moon and the male representing the sun, professional representing the sun, and in home representing the moon. Harmony between the conscious and the unconscious, and personalities and feelings. These are the major themes of a full moon. Be careful about relationships that start at a full moon because it may not be stable, okay? Full moons are a famous period of endings and release. That is what we get whenever we have a full moon. It's about releasing the energy, okay? During this period, some key themes to contemplate could be moderation, patience, and teamwork. April full moons are called a pink moon. A pink full moon in honor of the flowers that begin to bloom in early spring, in particular pink moss. Okay, full moons take place when the sun and the moons are in opposite signs, and that's what I said. So every time there is a Libra full moon, it occurs during Aries season. It's always the polarizing opposite sign for the full moon. The sun symbolizes our ego, our vitality, and it's in a sign of Aries, which is a fire sign. It's all about energy. It's all about me. And then the moon is in a Libra, and it's all about we and emotions, and it's about change and just complete opposite. So it's I versus we, because Libra is all about relationships and Aries is about the self. Aries season is merely a time of us to regard of is us regarding ourselves, as I said earlier, and Libra is always looking into other people's perspective. So it's more important that the full moon in Libra is a time of learning about relationships, okay? That is what we're going to learn through our eyes, and how can we maintain ourselves within a relationship. Information frequently comes to light every time there is a full moon, and we may gain a special glimpse into how other people feel during this time. Closely tied to balance, fairness, and justice, because we have a Libra energy happening with this full moon, and it could be pivotal with creating peace and harmony. Libra is also very cool and very detached to his emotions. So we will probably not be so emotional with this full moon. And full moons are famously periods of endings and release, like I said. So you have the sun that's very impulsive. So Aries may wave goodbye to a situation without much thought, okay? So saying goodbye wouldn't be really hard for us with this energy. During this full moon, the sun approaches a conjunction with Jupiter and Aries at the same time. So it's inspiring us to expand, and it's giving great opportunities. Conjunctions symbolize new beginnings. So the sun is giving us new beginnings with confidence. That is what we're obtaining with this full moon. The moon opposite Jupiter could create big shows of emotion as well. And yes, so now let's talk about, that is the full moon. Okay, you guys, get ready for that energy. And now let's talk about the horoscopes. And I'm using the Pastel tarot. I think this is called Pastel Journey Tarot cards for this reading. And that's me shuffling the cards. Also, I want to say, yes, so this is more about the full moon and different aspects. The different aspects of this week is April 5th, we have the full moon in Libra. We have Mercury sextile Saturn. We have the sun conjunct Chiron. I'm going to go over this in detailed with everything. Mercury conjunct the North Node later on April 5th. And then we have Mercury in retrograde, shadow phase begins. And then we have April 7th, Venus in sextile, Neptune in Pisces. And then we have Mercury in Taurus, sextiles Mars in Cancer later on at night, really going into April 7th. So those are the transits of the week, and we're really got a big whammer with our full moon. So as a collective, I'm going to pull a card for the collective first on the full moon. And we have the Queen of Wands. This is the energy of being very fiery, having a lot of drive, very Aries energy, being very outspoken, not having a problem saying goodbye, not having a problem with our emotions, and being very passionate, and a lot of desire and passion, and being very creative with Queen atmosphere. Okay, so it's somewhat of a leader, and we're more level-headed yet very passionate. Okay, so that is the energy as a collective with this. It's more fire than air, so be ready for that. Get ready for the passion. So speaking of fire, let's do our Aries. Now we're going into our horoscopes, and I would suggest looking at your rising sign first, but go ahead, look at your sun, moon, and rising. And let's start with Aries. Aries, April 5th, we have the full moon, and your moon is in the 7th house, and full moons are really about endings and release. So your moon travels into the 7th house of marriage, treaties, and contracts. This is an interesting time for relationships. Spend time with your partner, business, or professional, okay, or personal. You can turn attention to your personal relationships. Loved ones and partners are more important than usual, and it might provoke some type of feeling of security. Conflicts with others will be more emotional. Confrontations with women, both positive and negative, can be more intense, especially with men who are watching this video. So because again, we're dealing with the Libra, and then we're dealing with the Aries, and your Aries is in the first house, Aries. So you, of course, I don't even know why I looked, but of course, Aries are in the first house. You are having your solar return, and you are all about yourself with this energy. So there is a lot of fighting emotionally with others when you really want to be about yourself. Okay, so that is the energy with your moon, and it's an ending. Okay, so get ready for whatever phase that's ending with that energy. Mercury sextile Saturn. This is a good time to look around with a critical eye and see what needs to be changed or corrected. Your Mercury is in the 2nd house. When you have Mercury in the 2nd house, it's consult something with your finances. Explore some money-making ideas. Your attention is going to turn to whatever you value in life, whether it's material, intellectual, or spiritual. You think about and plan for elements much more than usual with negotiating. It's usually dealing with property and money during this time. You're really thinking about that, and you're much more concerned with business and commercial affairs than normal. And then you have Saturn in the 12th house. And I didn't even do a video on Saturn, so I'm just going to give you a little special treat. Now, you are required to seriously assess the value of your life during this time. This is the ending of your Saturn, right? Because it's at your 12th house, and it's going to start something new, some new lessons for you. So now you're at a time where you should be finishing some projects, some big lessons, life lessons right now. It's time to clear out for new actions. Now you should be finishing up anything you didn't complete over the several years of your Saturn. And even if you don't want to take a project and finish it, make sure you absorb, really pay attention to why it didn't get completed, okay? And you're going to learn that lesson when you start all over. It's very important to understand what you accomplished and what you failed to accomplish, and don't judge it or evaluate it. Just really look at it, okay? It is tempting to fall into despair over your failures and cut any of your losses, but remember, looking backwards is going to teach you a lesson, okay? Now, Aries placements, your sun is conjunct Chiron, and this is all about healing. The sun is pointing to healing energy, and your sun is in the first house. So it's all about health and happiness. It's the focus here, and a lot of selfish behavior. Aries are already selfish, but you're really leaning into that energy. So spend some time promoting yourself. It's fine. And self-care. This is the energy that you're all about, okay? And it's all about your approach to life and your identity and your attitude. Okay. And being that Chiron is in the first house, this is a time of healing some pain and painful triggers, maybe from your childhood. Wounds could be coming up. This may be physical wound or a physical illness, but be aware of it. Forgiveness, either of yourself or others' actions, may feature strongly during this time. Whatever the circumstances, this is a time where you can have greater understanding of yourself and your purpose in the world, okay? Now, April 6th, Mercury is conjunct your North Node. Planning and struggling ways to move forward is what you get with this energy. And your North Node is in money, work, income, daily routines, is all in the second house. And we also have things moving forward. So maybe your priorities and to help you move forward with your life goals. It's something with your priorities and your day-to-day habits, and maybe your work ethic is going on here. And we are also entering the pre-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde. So be aware of that. And your Mercury is also in the second house, okay? Be aware of that energy. Is starting. Pre-plan everything. Do everything April 5th, okay? Tomorrow. Plan it all before you get it started. Even like I'm having mic issues and I'm having tech problems already, which has nothing to do with Mercury retrograde, but I am working on it all today and going to handle it by tomorrow, okay? So April 7th, Aries placements, we have Venus in Taurus in the sixth house, Neptune, and your Venus is in the second house. And this aspect is about really appreciating beauty and creative and romantic imagination ways. Beauty is really going to be really appreciated, and you almost will be selfish. Even though you are being selfish, your energy is all about being selfish. But maybe when it comes to loved ones on April 7th, that energy is going to be a little more, thankfully, a break. Your Venus is in the second house, so it's all about making your home look beautiful. You're going to really be into that. Financially, either good or difficult, depending on how you handle it. The good side of this transit is that it stems from being attracted to, people are going to be attracted to you, and maybe that will attract some money. This transit can really work with financial negotiations. Investments made under this influence is very advantageous for you too. But be careful what you invest in on your daily living. Don't splurge too much on your day-to-day living. And it's all about making your home and your environment pretty. Now, your Neptune is in the 12th house. And the 12th house is about endings, healings, and closure, and spirituality, and solitude, and karma, old age, afterlife, what's hidden, limited beliefs, subconscious, and illusions. Okay. For the next several years, you are going to be reflecting some deep concerns. You are no longer concerned with really material energy, even though April 7th you will. But as a whole, with your Neptune in the 12th house, you are more into beyond and spiritual energy and occult practices and really getting spiritual. And you maybe even become depressed with this energy. But it's okay. And you may feel like your life is empty and meaningless, but you're going to come out of it finding meaning and purpose in your life. And that's what that energy is about. It's very spiritual energy for Aries placements. Also, your Mercury is in sextile. Mercury in Taurus is sextile Mars in Cancer. And you're going to be really busy as a collective with this energy. However, for you, your Mars is in the 4th house. So this is really more inward energy. 4th house is all about like home and family and mothers, feminine energy. Okay, so this transit is a sign of great activity to live positive actively. It might work more around your house. Okay, and make sure you agree with people you live with. Do not conflict with them because we're dealing with Mars. And then you have Mars in Cancer. So it's really feminine energy. I find you dealing with a lot of females, maybe arguing with them and something with the home. Okay, be aware of this while your Mars is in the 4th house. Okay, let me see. You may find your soul something about something. What am I writing? I'm reading my notes. And it's important to be quite conscious of what you're doing because you might be a little unconscious. Okay, because we're dealing with the moon. Let me pull some tarot for you guys, Aries placements. Ooh, we have Ace of Pentacles. This is God giving you new opportunities. I find that with that Venus, new resources, new opportunities. Let's see what else we have for you guys. King of Swords. It's all about being logical and thinking clear-headed and being very intelligent with this this week of April. We have the World in reverse. So usually it means like a culmination, but something's not ending. Something is going to keep going, or maybe internally something is ending, and it could be the Neptune energy. And we're going to pull one more card for you guys. We have the Princess of Wands. So this is someone who's just starting with their passions and desires, and spirituality also is done with fire energy and being very creative. Okay, so that is what you guys have. I hope you guys enjoyed Aries placements, and see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Taurus placements, it is your time, and let's see what we have here. We have a moon. Your full moon is in the 6th house. This is a brief time for health and well-being, getting organized, out with the old and in with the new. Full moons is also a time to release and end something. So there is something ending. Let me see where you're. Okay, this is really like the end of the year for you because your sun is in the 12th house. We'll get more into that later, but your full moon is in the 6th house. So something emotionally is ending with maybe being organized, maybe how you run your home, some systems, okay? Something's ending with that, and maybe you're learning emotionally how to deal with that, okay? Maybe even with females, because the moon also represents feminine energy as well, but something with organization, something with day systems, something even with pets, okay, female pets also too, and also sacrificing energy, which is very Libra-ish. Okay, so I can see that more. Libra is about the relationship, so I can see that happening. So your sun is conjunct Chiron, and your sun is in the 12th house. So this is a time for self-reflect, clear your social calendar, and really get into the matters and go inward, okay? And this is also about healing, because the sun conjunct Chiron is just glowing about healing. So it's a time to get in touch with your subconscious, broadcast two kinds of signals here. It's the outer world beyond, and then you have the unconscious guides as well. I'm really tapping into your intuition. Get rid of your childlike behaviors because you outlived them, because now we are dealing with the 12th house. In some way, this is your year ending. Because your sun is in the 12th house, and this is where you establish starting over. So get ready to change your life with your solar energy, with your ego, with your external energy, that sun energy. Life is about to change. This is the end of a journey for you guys. Unintentionally, your actions may cause others to work against you when you have your sun in the 12th house, and be aware of that, because we're also talking about sun is conjunct Chiron. So there is healing happening with all of that energy. That's just the transit of that day. April 5th through the 13th, you have Mercury in your first house, and Mercury is going into shadow retrograde. So be ready for that. And that's April 6th. And also Mercury is sextile Saturn. Okay. So two things we have here, and the retrograde pre-shadow phase, and then we have Mercury sextile Saturn. It's a good time to look around with a critical eye with that energy, especially when it comes to communication and opportunities of self-improvement and gathering information, and being very detailed with gathering information for you guys. Communication is also very key. Communicating. I wonder if you're like reading books on how to communicate better. April 7th, you have Venus is in Taurus, and it's sextile Neptune, and your Venus is in the first house, and this is all about beauty. We already know, but I wonder if your beauty is, because it's in the first house, this is going to be very outward. It's some changes going on outwardly, and you're spending a lot of money, maybe on a new haircut, maybe a new style, maybe be changing the way you look. Be aware of how much you're spending on this. Some people probably would get like a plastic surgery. I'm not sure, but be aware of the amount of money you're spending on this. Taurus placements, and but haircuts, maybe a huge fashion statement is happening April 7th. Having fun. Oh, feminine energy too is really big with the self-care of that energy. April 7th. April 8th, we have Mercury in Taurus, sextiles Mars in Cancer. Very extremely busy and confident energy as a whole for the collective. For you, your Mars is in the 3rd house, so it's a time to assert yourself, but not at the expense of others. So you're about speaking out loud. And wait, let me see. Yes. It's in the 3rd house. Speaking out loud and powerful thoughts and ideas you can express. Short drives are very pleasant. You're going to be very happy with having a short drive too, because it's all about transportation with this energy. Mars is in its home there. Let me see what else. And in the sign of Cancer. So yeah, it's really short drives. You're not going far because Cancer still likes to be with home and in comfortable areas, but you are still moving and thriving. So let me do your tarot for you guys, Taurus. Oops. We have some cards that fell out. So we have the 10 of Swords here. So this is the energy of, it could be an end of a journey. Also, you feel like there's some back pain. There is, it's the end of the journey, okay? But there are some words spoken to you that were very hurtful. Physically could have caused you pain, the way you're thinking, the way your logic is. But it's towards the end. 5 of Swords, yeah, it's something conflicting, something with words. It's that there's a conflict or maybe even a competition. Let's see what else we have for you, Taurus. In this week of April. Five of Wands, again, another conflict and fighting, competing and fighting. Wow, just a lot of conflict for you guys. I don't know if there's something that you are overcoming. And yeah, but then you're going to have some teamwork. There's a lot of teamwork. Learning from others is this energy. And we'll pull one more. And Ace of Cups, maybe a new love relationship, something with spirituality, something with nurturing. Yes, and emotional, new emotions, being overly emotional. Okay, your cup runneth over, but there's something new there. So at the beginning, there was an ending of some negativity, a lot of conflict going on, especially when it comes to words and the way you think. And then you're fighting haters at the same time, very passionate and conflict there. But it's okay. There is new Ace of Cups. So new emotions are coming. Maybe even new romance is coming your way too. Okay. Okay, Gemini placements. This is your horoscopes for April and for the full moon of April. And your Mercury sextile Saturn is what we have as a transit in April 5th. And it's very serious and it's a lot of detailed energy. And it's in your 12th house. So you're going to want to keep your opinions to yourself and not communicate them with others. Very serious with that as well. At the same time, you'll be more in touch with your hidden sides of your personality. You may feel that others will hold something you say in against you. But this is okay because you're into really being very serious with this energy. It's a good time to do your research by yourself and being by yourself when you have the Mercury in the 12th house. April 5th, we have that full moon that we were talking about earlier in this video. And your full moon is in the 5th house. And it's very difficult for you to conceal your feelings from others when you have a moon in the 5th house. But you shouldn't try. You need to be yourself now and to feel what you're really feeling. You're going to project more out to others and you're going to come off more emotional than normal. Relations with women, it improves with this transit, but this is a short transit. You may even enjoy a new romance. Spend some fun moments with children because it's all about creativity, activity with the 5th house, moon in the 5th house. And this brief moment in time could birth a new phase in your life. So we're ending something and bringing something new. And it could be definitely with relationships, especially when you have that full moon in Libra. Now, your sun is in 11th house. So it's all about relationships with you. And at this time, it's very group relationships, not like one-on-one, but group relationships. And that is going to be in the month of April for you. So at this time of the year, your intention is turned towards groups and belonging and having values and ideals with relationships with the same people who have the same values of you, is what I'm saying. Friendships and relationships are very important to you at this time in this month. Among your friends, drive to establish who you are without becoming domineering. Okay, let's not be too controlling. Especially with this Aries sun. Your idealism is aroused at this time, but it's personal rather than abstract idealism. It is a recollection of what you want your life to be, so follow that ideal. Okay, and Mercury is sextile Saturn. And this week, and this is a good time to look around with a critical eye and see what needs changing and correcting. Your Mercury is in the 12th house, and it's all about ending and healing and closure and spirituality and solitude and karma, and more and more and more. Okay. And your Saturn is in the 10th house, and they are sextile. So Saturn is all about your careers and long-term goals and structure and status and reputation. At this time, though, you're going to integrate your individual self with some kind of group expression. If you find it difficult to work with others, cooperate and work with a team, you may feel like coworkers are kind of getting in the way because you want to work with others at this time. The 11th house is also the house of hopes and wishes and your ideas and your objectives in your life. During this transit, you will find out whether or not you have worked effectively to obtain your ideals, because it's all about your wishes and hopes at the same time with your Saturn. And most people, at least 2 Saturn cycles in their life, frequently the first transit is really hard and not successful. And if this is your second one, you're more successful when it comes to your career and your long-term goals. So if this is your first Saturn cycle in the 10th house, it's all about lessons. And the second time go around, you're much better when it comes to these lessons. So be aware of that. But the Mercury is going to help you communicate better with this energy. April 6th, we have pre-shadow retrograde happening. So do everything before then. Your Mercury is in the 12th house. Again, we've already discussed that. So be aware of what's hidden and the life beyond and limiting beliefs and illusions. Okay. Be ready for that when you have Mercury in retrograde. Now, April 7th, we have Venus in Taurus and it's sextile Neptune in Pisces. So it's very creative, very romantic energy, very self-sacrificing energy, especially when it comes to your romantic lover. Okay. Your Venus is in the 12th house. So you may be called upon to take care of a loved one. And we already have that energy. So it's going to be really strong April 7th. You may become involved with a charitable activity if you're not taking care of a loved one. Personal relationships in need of a care one is you may not get the thank you that you want, but it will come in a long run. Do not fall into a negative trap of playing a martyr though. Okay. None of this, I self-sacrifice so much energy. Okay. Just do what God wants you to do during this time in the universe. What you may be lacking in pleasure, you will make up in spiritual rewards. Amen. Okay, you guys. And April 8th, Mercury is in Taurus and it's sextile Mars, which is in Cancer. It's very, for the collective, very extremely busy and confident energy. And your Mars is in the second house. So money, work, income, daily routines, values, material possessions, priorities, habits, your job, and your work ethic. Bargain hunting comes with this energy, and you'll be keen with organizing your personal finances. Okay, so let's get into the tarot for you guys. And we have the Sun, very positive. And again, let me see where your Sun was. Your Sun is in the 11th house. Okay, and it's all about groups and relationships. That's very big for you guys. And I'm wondering if this Sun is being literal or if it's saying it's going to be birthing something new and it's very positive and happy. It's a very positive card. Okay. Next, we have the Hierophant. This is all about traditional learning and spirituality, which, let me see, what was in the 12th house for you guys? A lot of things. Your Mercury is in the 12th house. All this energy is in the 12th house with you guys. So Gemini placements, be aware of that because this is Hierophant is all about learning and traditional learning, especially when it comes to spirituality. We have the Ace of Swords, so some knowledge and some clarity is coming your way. And we have the King of Pentacles. This is about collecting your coins, taking your times, being practical. And then also we have someone who can juggle multiple. You're Gemini. This Gemini energy is already normal for you, but this is the energy of multitasking and being able to multitask. So all that is going to happen with you for this week. And I hope you guys enjoyed your reading. See you next time. Bye. Okay, Cancer placements. Hello, welcome to your horoscopes and your tarot reading. Let me just mix up the cards here. April 3rd, Mercury enters Taurus. We had that yesterday, and April 3rd, if you're watching this, it's April 4th for me. But yesterday we had April 3rd, we had Mercury entering Taurus and Mercury squares Pluto. But your Mercury is in the 11th house, Cancer placements. And it's all about technology in the future and communication. Community. Sorry. I'm thinking of it. Mercury in 11th house is about technology, the future, community, friends, good fortune, groups. Okay, and you're thinking about your goals and expectation in life. You would examine your ideas to find out exactly how well they are serving you. You're going to start examining your attitudes towards groups. ideas and standards. This is a time you will need more verbal and intellectual conversation with friends and groups. So it's all about discovering intelligence through a group of people. So like a book club. I'm trying to just think any type of group organization, you're going to want that energy. And then your sun, let me see. Okay, your full house, your full moon is in the 4th house. And the 4th house is about home, roots, and family, self-care, emotions, mother, femininity, foundations, parents, and caregivers. And that is where your full moon is. So you are ending something, releasing something with that energy. It's probably a good time to retire and stay home. And also to remember, Libra is not really emotional energy, but you're dealing with emotions. So you're going to maybe feel like a little bit detached, or maybe have some conflict with the home, someone in your home, maybe a female in your home in particular. You will probably feel emotional and possessive at the same time. Under this influence, there is a strong fear of being alone. And if you adopt for your attitude, no, I don't know what I typed there, but so let go of having the fear of losing. Release that energy and focus more on what you have. Okay. Let's see. Your sun is in the 10th house. So your sun this month is all about your career. And if you don't have a career, it's about probably preparing to get one, working on one. It's very structured, and also could be dealing with adults, structures, what am I trying to say? People who are in charge of you, governments, that energy. And it's healing because your sun is conjunct Chiron April 5th. So it's all about healing with that energy. So it could be dealing with male energy as well. But your sun is there for a month, okay, in the month of April. Be aware of where you are with this Aries season, and Taurus, because it's all about, well, really Aries. It's all about... it's all about you and the structure and your career, and maybe even people who are in charge of you. Okay. And there's some healing with that energy as well. So your Mercury sextile house Saturn, and your Mercury is in the 11th house, which we said earlier. Now your Saturn is in the house of travel and wisdom and philosophy. So there is some limitations there and lessons that you need to learn. Maybe with higher education, maybe something dealing with the law, even religion is also there, or maybe even dealing with something around the world, or having people who teach you something from another country. But your Saturn is restricting with that energy. So there is something that you're supposed to learn. You are likely seriously seeking meaning and purpose in your life. That could come off with this energy. You may feel restricted in exploring the meaning of life, because again, it's all about restriction, Saturn. But nevertheless, you need to form a set of beliefs that can serve you during this period. Later in life, you may eventually mount a serious investigation into philosophy or religious realms. Okay. April 6th. Cancer placements, Mercury conjunct the North Node, planning and strategizing, and your Mercury is in 11th house. So it's all about friends, social contracts, and beware of the pre-shadow phase of retrograde with that. And your North Node, all about moving forward and finding your life purpose, is in the 11th house, and you're probably going to do that, something with groups, okay? Venus is also in your 11th house, and Venus is sextile Neptune. And Venus is again about socializing. So you're really blossoming when it comes to clubs, groups, hobbies, and pastimes, social awareness, humanitarian technology, the future. It's all what you're dealing with, especially when it comes to beauty and attracting things. Your Neptune is in the 9th house. Again, you have two things in your 9th house and a lot of energy in your 11th house. Let me look at this. Yes. Okay, so 9th house and 11th house. So the wisdom and higher education, law and religion. Currently, you have an urge to explore pastures further and it could be beyond this lifetime. But it's all about learning philosophy during this period. This could involve yearning to delve into the studies of religion or spiritual philosophies and traveling to other countries. It is big for you. April 8th, because your Neptune's in the 9th house, okay? April 8th, Mercury is sextile Mars, and your Mars is in the first house. So, okay, all about the first impressions and identities and approach to life. If there ever was a time to strive for good health, this is a time. Cancer placements. Self-promotion is also great with this energy. Personal goals. Now is the time. You need only avoid rash behavior that could lead to accidents. And if you have experienced any trouble and health problems, now is the time to have some checkouts. Your self-motivation is strong during this period. So, yes, be aware of that, Cancers. Let's do some tarot for all my Cancer placements. We have a transition happening, Cancers. Let me see what we have in that 12th house again. Oh, there's nothing in that 12th house, but there is a transitioning happening for you guys. Okay, so let's see what we have. It could be dealing with money, learning how to deal with money or learning something. Also, maybe a transition with health. Then we have the 9 of Wands. So it's all about persevering. So there's a transition. It could be happening with health, happening with money, happening with your resources. But you need to persevere, stay strong. It's almost the end of your journey. And then again, stay strong. So practice some compassion for yourself and really practice inner strength. I'm going to pull one more for you guys, Cancers. King of Cups, okay, and also practice love and compassion with others and being emotionally stable, okay? You want to be the leader of emotions, Cancers. You are good with that. Be yourself, follow your intuition, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Leo placements. Welcome to your horoscopes of April and especially your full moon, and we're going to do some tarot. Now, your full moon is in the 3rd house, and it's about thinking and communication. It deals with siblings, social activities, your interests, neighborhoods, your day-to-day activity, and early education and extended family. So during this period, your communications with others are likely to be more subjective. You are concerned with a very gut level communication. You're not satisfied with superficial conversations. Your thinking may be heavily influenced by your past experiences, habits, and reactions put off by others. This is a house of an everyday world, so things are pretty much automatic for you, meaning that your behavior is somewhat automatic, but be aware of it. Snap out of it, okay? Be aware of what you normally do. Usually you can get away with this, but there is danger when it comes to the moon and its emotions and it's conflicting the sun, which is your personality. So wake up and be aware of that. Also, energy with family and relatives may play an important part with this full moon energy. It's a good time for communication and negotiations, and also a great thing of learning to listen. Okay, now we have on April 5th your Mercury is sixth house Saturn. On a whole, this is very serious and very detailed energy, but your Mercury is in the 10th house and you're dealing with career, structure, status, your reputation, public image, anything dealing with masculine energy, fathers, expert, boss, and superiority. Okay, so during this, it is working with in harmony of Saturn, which is also great because your house is in that energy of Saturn. It's actually going to work out for you. There is a time that you may be juggling life directions and considerations. That's going to work out for you. You can benefit from seeking professional advice. Very strongly advise that, especially when it comes to elders and male energy. Your connections with others are important right now. as they influence your decisions to help you create new opportunities. Undertake new studies that might help your career and new techniques. Communication on a job is more important than ever with this energy, especially with Saturn and sextile, because you're very serious and you're going to be able to pay attention to details. Now, your Saturn's in the 8th house. And let me just tell you, deaths into your life at this time. It may not be your death. Okay. I'm not saying that. I don't want to say it may not. It's not your death. It may be someone else's. Or it may be a transition, because death also represents transition. So there may be a transition here, and it could be psychological. Now your Saturn, To review the changes you have gone through in the year since Saturn crossed your ascendant, and to look for a pattern in it. This is the process you are learning to understand other people's resources and values will prepare you for this transit of Saturn conjunct your midheaven, which will happen in a few more years. Okay. But Saturn in anything merging, anything dealing with sex and intimacy and sharing finances and mystery, your goals, your taxes, and your inheritance. It's all about restriction. But this is a lesson. This is a life lesson with that. Okay. So be aware with that for all of my Leo placements. And your sun is conjunct Chiron, and your sun is in a 9th house, and it's all about being wise and philosophy and higher education and religion, and maybe even there's some law here. You should brighten your horizons in every way possible to study new and unfamiliar experiences. Travel, especially this month. Meeting people from different countries this month is going to really intrigue you. Maybe this will be a time for your healing. This transit can also indicate involvement concerning law, like I said earlier, and maybe a legal case is going to be with this energy in the month of April. April 6th, Mercury conjunct your North Node, and your Mercury is in the 10th house, and it's all about careers and also your public image and masculinity. But there is some goals moving forward here, and you're going to be aware of that more than anything. April 6th. April 7th, your Venus is sextile Neptune, and your Venus is in the 10th house. Again, we're dealing with career, long-term goals, and structure. All of this is playing a role, and people might be more attracted to you, or you would be attracted to something dealing with the matters of work, maybe even beautifying places at work. People are going to go to you regardless of what you do for a living. This transit may involve you temporarily using some type of artistic matter or design and laying out the structure of your office to make it pretty, redecorating, even in public relations. This is what you get with this energy. A new love relationship at this time, maybe with someone older or someone who acts like a guide figure. Okay. Now your Neptune is in the 8th house. And when you have this transit, who are we dealing with? Leo placements. When you have this transit, your attention will turn to hidden areas in your life and deepest aspects of your subconscious mind. You're interested in psychic, occult, very beyond this world energy. Also, science could be an underpinning. It's something with hidden, anything hidden is really what you're into. During this period, an old way of doing things during this period, an old way of doing things or an order of your life is passing away, because it also is the house of death. So there is a transition and a new one is coming. Someone close to you may die, and it would change your life really big, which of course it would change anyone's life. But I'm not saying this is going to happen. Do not walk around with fear. Okay. What I'm saying, and this could be not a death of someone you're close to, but maybe them even leaving you. Okay. It's a transition. None to say. Okay. None to say, to really say. Mercury in Taurus sextiles Mars in Cancer. This doesn't really happen April 7th. It does. It happens at 11:29 p.m., but it's really going to feel it on April 8th. And your Mercury is in the 10th house and your Mars is in the 12th house. So this can be a difficult transit if you can't handle properly, especially your natal chart shows some confliction there. So this is from, vary from person to person. We know that. You will feel irritable with this transit. And, because you want to be alone, but you can't be alone. Okay. It is the best time to work alone if you can become completely conscious of yourself and defeating acts. And also if you're feeling a little insecure. Okay. So that is what we have for you guys, Leos. And let's read the tarot for you guys, shall we? We have the Star. It's all about keeping the faith. It's also about the future because it's Aquarius energy and being with groups. Let me see what we have here. Yeah, it's all about future, being with groups, having faith, okay, and spirituality. There is some heartbreak going on. Let's see. Keep faith. There is heartbreak, and there needs to be some traditional way of learning and also dealing with spirituality. Then there is a rebirth. There is a rebirth happening. There's also energy of self-care with the Empress. Venus energy for sure. And your Venus is all about your career. And then we have celebrations with friends. Okay. So that is what the gist of for your month is, celebrating with friends. Let me see what we have in. Some faith. Major arcana is faith and giving birth and being, teaching and traditional ways of teaching, traditional ways of learning, traditional ways of spirituality for you. There is a heartbreak, but at the same time, there's friendships happening as well. So that is your reading, Leo placements. I hope you guys enjoy. Click the link in the bio for more and see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, Virgo placements. I'm just stretching my back because it's been a doozy. Okay, so Virgos, your full moon is in the second house when it comes to money, daily routines, values, materialism. Okay, this is a time when you're emotionally identified with possessions and what you value. On a more physical level, you may unconsciously identify with your own value system to such an extent that you feel every challenge is a direct challenge to yourself. Okay, Virgos, you may have to defend yourself in areas where you really have nothing at stake. You probably will feel best when surrounded with familiar objects because that represents your past, because that is very second house placement. Traditionally, this transit is considered to be bad time of spending money. Don't do it. Be conscious of your and because you're unconscious of your drives with possession. So you're just going to be spending because you just want to possess everything when you have the moon in the second house, especially a full moon, especially when you're having some closure, because the full moon is about closure. Mercury sextile Saturn at same time, and overall it's about serious and detailed energy, and you don't want to entertain superficial conversations, but your Mercury is in the ninth house. So you might be serious with learning, education. It's also a good time to travel. It's good conversations and communications, especially with people who don't live in the same country with you. And religion and philosophy is going to be big with this energy. But your Saturn is in the seventh house, and I've never did a video on Saturn, but let me just give you your brief little special treat. This transit represents the culmination of the process of that began about 14 years ago, if you are that old. Okay, when Saturn into your first house, attention to your inner world is more focused to social world. Okay, the need then was to redefine yourself in your own terms. Now you need to pay attention to your close friends, close associations with others. They test you with this Saturn in the seventh house, and it's all about dealing with relationships and marriage and people who are close to you, and there's restrictions, and there could be a divorce with this energy. Remember though that Saturn is all about teaching you a lesson. I know I used to think Saturn as doom and gloom, but it's not. It's really here to wake you up. It's almost like Pluto, like a transition. It's here to restrict you so you can learn boundaries with certain things. Even a good marriage, you may confront some issues, but it's going to cause a transition. Co-workers will make greater demands upon you than they have in your past. Okay. Now, the sun is conjunct Mercury, and it's all about bringing light to what is healing. And your sun is in the 8th house, which is all about hidden sex, intimacy, and you may feel influenced with this transit on a number of different levels, but in general, you were consciously it's all about feeling emotional and psychological health with this energy. You may notice now a sense of strong psychological compulsions surfacing because your sun for this whole Aries season is in the 8th house, and you don't understand why you're feeling this way. You want to feel life on feeling a certain level of intimacy and going through some psychological transformation. There is death with this aspect of your life, but may not be death of a person. Maybe just a transition that you are going through. This transit can mean actual death of a person too, but which is also very transformative for you. Okay. Now we have April 6th, we have Mercury is in retrograde. And let me just tell you that I did have some two Sagittarius, and they had a funeral. Didn't even know that it's not associated with each other, but the two of them had funerals that they had to attend, and it was just like when I was looking at their charts, because whenever two people have the same thing and they don't even know each other, or they don't even know that they're doing the same thing, I always look it up, and it was just like the day-to-day activities with them, with their moon and all that stuff. Anyway, but so it may not be someone of that is close to you, but the death is going to bring a transition. It's really what I was trying to say. April 6th, Mercury in retrograde shadow phase begins, and then also Mercury is conjunct the North Node, which is all about being aware of your goals and what you need to achieve, your life purpose. There's going to be more awareness of that, and it's going to be more aware through some way of traveling and wisdom, philosophy, higher education, law, religion, learning, all that, and ethics is going to help you achieve your life goal. And that happens April 6th. April 7th, Venus is sextile Neptune, and your Venus is in the 9th house. Again, we're dealing with the same energy of travel and wisdom, but this transit is going to bring you closer to loving travel, beauty, and art, maybe around the world. Expanding experience that brighten you and bring about personal growth. This is a good time to see an art exhibit, especially if it's from other countries. New people who are strange and different from your past may be coming and rewarding you with this transit. Okay, Mercury is in sextile Mars, and Mars is in the sign of Cancer. This is really at 11:29 p.m. April 7th, but this is going to affect you the next day. Virgo placements. And your Mars is in the 11th house, the house of groups, right? And friends and awareness, humanitarian hopes, wishes in the future. So this time is all about formulating your goals, and your ego is going to be all about the future. And you're going to be worried about what tomorrow brings. This also is a house of relationships, which means that you'll be able to achieve your goals more effectively with working with teams. The one problem with Mars energy is that some people don't want to work as teams. So be aware of that. There may be difficulties with you and your friends. Your ego needs will be conflicted with everyone else's. Physical activity with friends, such as athletic sports, will be great with this energy. But it's very busy energy and doesn't want to sit around. So let's go ahead, Virgos, and do your tarot. We have the star. It's all about hope and being faith-based. Okay, so keeping your faith. I'm going to mix the cards. It's also very Aquarius energy. So let's see what else we have here. We have the Fool. There is a new journey. It also makes me think of Aries, because Aries is all about the start. So having spirituality and faith with a new journey. And then we have the Princess of Pentacles when it comes to learning, when it comes to starting to learn, when it comes to even maybe an earth sign who is Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, that kind of energy, female. And then also beginning a health, beginning with resources. Something very young energy. Sorry about that. And then there's a lack of. There is a lack of resources. You feel like it's a lack of, and it's not. And it's all about moderation. Okay. And that is also Sagittarius energy. So let me see if I can put this all together. So it's all about spirituality, and there's a transition when it comes to your faith and your spirituality. And it's going to be more of an energy of being practical. And you're going to be thinking that it's lack of, because you're probably going to be thinking practical. But remember to practice moderation and balancing. You do not have to be so logical. Tap into your intuition, and tap more, Virgos, especially Virgos. Get out of your head and be more, go off of intuition and faith and spirituality. Okay. Now, Libras. Let's see what we have here, Libras. You have a full moon in the first house. It's not that long, of course. This transit is like a 2-day transit, and with personal, but we're dealing with a solar. No, it's not solar eclipse yet. Sorry, this is just a full moon. We'll get into that later in the month. With personal and subjective consideration will override everything else, but it needs not be difficult. You feel a great need to belong and relate to your friends and loved ones when you have that moon in the first house. You'll be right there whenever someone wants to cry on your shoulder. There's two sides to this transit. So there's one who wants to be emotionally there for the person. There's someone who's like, who's going to take care of me emotionally? So there is this juggling here. You are concerned about yourself, but don't distort this into the state of mind in which you cannot see someone else's point of view, especially when dealing with others. It may be difficult for you at this time because your emotions are all about me, even though you're going to be helpful with people. So this is very interesting energy. Mercury is sextile Saturn. And that's all about, as a whole, very detailed energy and very serious energy. And your Mercury is in the 8th house. It's all about psychological truths within yourself, and you can use this time to be more in touch with hidden aspects. This transit often signifies conversations and intellectual encounters with profound effect upon your mind, causing you to go more deep than the surface level. So it's going to be very serious about deep thinking you're going to have with this energy, sometimes including thoughts about your own or your love or even mortality is really what could happen here. It made me think of Lauren London. She was doing a podcast and she said even before Nipsey Hussle died, I don't know if you know any of these people, she was always into death and researching death, and this death as in dying. And this could be the energy here, okay, that you are really reflecting about what happens when I die. That is something that could happen with this aspect and its transit. Reflecting upon those matters from time to time in moderation can help you have your life's perspective. You could put your life in perspective. You could be discussing and negotiating concerns regarding finances. That could be a big part with this transit, particularly that those wholly jointly with sharing property with other people. Okay, so you have that, and it's very serious energy, very serious and very detailed, which is great if you are dealing with property. Okay, so you want detailed energy. Your Saturn's in the 6th house, and it's sextile Mercury. But let me talk about your Saturn. Your Saturn, it's all about restrictions, okay, and structure and boundaries, and it's all about with health and organization, and maybe even giving service self-sacrificing service with others. So Saturn is going to leave this house, cross your 7th house, and it's going to be about obtaining your goals and ambitions. Will be beginning to bear your life with the free. I'm looking at my notes. So you guys, this energy is preparing you for your debut. You have to put everything in order so that you will make your maximum impact. Consequently, this is a time of every heavy responsibility and hard work responsibilities you may have been too overwhelmed to handle. But in the long run, if you keep it up, this is going to work out, because it's all about habits and consistency. And you don't want to be restricted with that. You want to learn how to use it. And that is going to be the lesson for your Saturn. Okay. Conserve your energy more than ever, because you're going to need it in the long run. Now, your sun is conjunct Chiron during Aries season, and the sun is all about yourself and your life, and the Chiron is all about healing, and the sun is putting light into that. Like, what do you need to heal? But in this month of Aries, your 7th house is all about relationships. So there is going to be some healing with relationships, especially with this full moon. Okay, at this time of the year, you should learn more about your intimate one-on-one encounters with others, especially when you have a marriage. This is especially for you. Any activity in your life, try not to go at it alone. This is also about learning lessons and healing through others, especially with Aries, your Aries season. Okay, so that is going to be the just lesson through your Aries season. And we are dealing with my Libras. Oh, Libras. Oh, sorry. This is all about learning. What? Let me see. Yeah, your sun is in the 7th house. Here we go. Get ready. And then it's moving fast. The Aries, with the Aries energy. So just be aware of that. Yeah, okay. Okay, Mercury retrograde shadow phase begins April 6th. So anything you need to take care of it before that. Mercury conjuncts your north node. It's all about what do you need to do. You're going to be thinking about what you need to do for your life purpose. And it may be through some partners and intimacy and finances, or through taxes. I would think goals is a big part with this energy. At this time, you're going to look inward and reflect psychologically the truths that you need to handle your goals. Next, you have your Venus is in the 8th house. This can be stimulating because it's all about sex when you're dealing with the 8th house, and existing relationships and love, intimacy, physical level. This transit may attract money to you through your spouse, your business partners. Go ahead, Libra. You would probably be getting money through your spouses. Okay. Factors in your personal relationship that may not have been aware of, but have been playing a very important part of your life and determining the course of your relationship, may come to surface during this time. Psychological evolution and confrontation. Love relationships may be instrumental in bringing this transformation. It is all about relationships for you, Libra placements. Mercury is sextile Mars, and that happens really the next day. Happens that same day, but it happens at 11:29. So we're going to say it's the next day. And Mars is in the 10th house, and it's all about your careers and long-term goals. You're going to really be focused on working. Mars, the planet of ego, drives 10th house, very much at home in his house, right? It is very comfortable. It's like, let's get it started. Let's get to work. And you're going to be thinking about work. One of the problems with this transit is that you might have conflicts with authority figures. Okay. So let's do some tarot for my Leo placements. And we have many options, Libras, okay? Not all the options are going to be great options. And there could be some cloudy illusion there. Let me see. Your Venus was in 8th house. So it could be some cloudy judgment. I was trying to see if it's materialism. But let's keep going and see what else we have here. We have some conflict here, and conflicting with words, conflicting with logic. So there's a lot of choices and conflict. and reap what you sow. Let's see what else we have. I'm pulling them all and then I'm going to put it together. Ooh, celebrations and foundations and family. It could be a marriage. And lastly, we have indecisiveness, and you can't decide. Very Libra energy. Okay, so at the beginning there's a lot of choices, and at the end you can't decide between two decisions. In between there's some conflict, and you are going to be sowing, you're going to be planting something, and you need to let it grow at the same time, because there is celebrations and foundations and community and possibly a marriage. And then there's an indecisiveness, and you can't decide. You're blind with this, and it's all about using your intuition and letting God lead. Not having a lot of choices and having a lot of options does not mean it's amazing, okay? Because you always have to go with what is aligned with your true self. Remember to go with what is aligned with your true self. Libras too, you guys are dealing with the duality and balance, and you want to have equilibrium in your life. And you not deciding is very hard for you, because you want that very stable middle ground. So be aware of that when it comes to logic. And but you still have some celebrations, and then maybe you're going to celebrate the things that you are planting, the seeds that you are growing. Okay, that is your reading. I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Bye. Okay, Scorpio placements. This is your reading for horoscopes of April and some tarot. So your moon is in the 12th house. At this time, you'll be tempted to want to be secretive, and the feeling of being secretive, and you're going to feel insecure, and perhaps you, like many people, I always felt like whatever you say, people are going to really turn on you. Whatever you hide from yourself can control you without you being aware of it. So let's not have secrets. This is a time to make your unconscious be conscious. Come on, Scorpios. Let's not hold the secret in. During this time, relationships with women could be difficult, because you don't understand each other very well, because your moon is in the 12th house. You probably would not feel much like socializing, which is fine. You should probably seek some solitude. This is just a 2-day period. Remember, this is a full moon. There is completion. This is a Libra full moon, because it's all about relationships and the we. So seek solitude so you can have this. And also spirituality will be very big for you. So go with meditation, and go with praying. Anything spiritual, read tarot, all of that will be needed for you during that full moon. And releasing, and I did a video on full moon and full moon rituals. Okay, so take a bath, do some cleansing, charge your crystals. Okay, meditate, journal. Okay, do all those things. That would be great for you, Scorpio placements. Your Mercury is sextile Saturn, and it's all about serious energy and very detailed work. But your Mercury is in the 7th house. Again, this is about relationships. Relationships are very important. You're probably thinking about them all the time. With the Mercury in the 7th house, is a good time to clarify and explain an issue to someone with whom you are intimately associated with in your daily life. If it's your spouse or your business partner, it's also a good time to consult a specialist in certain matters, like a psychiatrist, an astrologist, an astrologer, someone of profession. Okay, you need another person's consciousness and response to your ideas and statements in order to get a clear perspective of your own during your Mercury in the 7th house. Together is better is the energy you have here. In all encounters today, you will seek intellectual. This is what day is this? The same day of the full moon. You will seek intellectual conversations from other people, even with spirited banter. This is a good transit for making contracts and entering into negotiations about any matters. This is great energy for contracts. Okay, so use that. Now, your Saturn's in the 5th house. And the reason why I'm doing your Saturn, which is an extra bonus treat, is because it's sextile Mercury. So it's working together. And your Saturn in the 5th house, You will learn more about yourself and how to express yourself in the best way possible during your whole Saturn season in the 5th house. You will have to work for this result. It would not happen by itself. You should proceed carefully, organize, or in an organized Saturn way, okay? It's not likely to be very amusing in the 5th house because usually the 5th house is very fun. But no, not when Saturn is there, okay? This is understandable because let me see. So like love affairs and romance and creativity and fertility and childlike and spirit, all that stuff happens. But there's restriction and structure, and you're going to be learning from it. Also be careful of gambling, because 5th house represents gambling. And no. While your Saturn's in the 5th house, do not gamble. You want to have discipline with this. Examine your real feelings, okay? During this transit may also simply withdraw from encounters from others, because you are restricting all of this energy. But it's okay. You're going to learn from it. And but Mercury is going to communicate that with relationships with others. Now your sun is conjunct Chiron, and it's very healing because the sun is glowing and like, what is this that you need to heal? Let's put a flashlight onto it. That is what sun conjunct Chiron is. So now is the time to examine the problems of how you should manage your life and what duties and responsibilities entails in your house, in this house. Let me see what the house is actually. Your sun is in the 6th house. Yeah, so it's all about duties and responsibilities and day-to-day actions and habits. Your focus should be efficient and effective. This is going to happen basically during Aries season. Okay, so the whole Aries season is going to be the theme of house of service and day-to-day works and your habits. You're probably going to be really organized and really, if you're working out, you're going to work out. If you have a morning routine, you're going to have a morning routine. It's very positive for the Aries season, and you're probably moving fast and doing it without thinking. This is also the house of health. So you may be really into hygiene and health during this, and you're going to find some healing through this, okay? April 6th, Mercury is in retrograde, and it's the shadow phase retrograde that's going to begin April 6th. Mercury conjuncts the North Node, and it really happens at night, so you're going to feel it the next day. And it's all about, what do I need to do to perceive? You're going to be thinking about, what do I need to do to perceive my life purpose? And it's going to be through marriage and relationships, maybe a contract, something with law, interpersonal style. It's going to make you be more aware of your life purpose. April 7th, Venus is sextile Neptune, and Venus, and this is all going to be about love and love affairs and creativity and all this amazing thing. And let me see where your Venus is. Your Venus is in the 7th house, so it's all about relationships. This is one of the best positions when you have Venus in the 7th house, because it's all about love and loving coworkers and attracting love and attracting coworkers. Even enemies in your life will even have some feelings towards you. Okay. Professional ones, there will be issues with that. Not issues in a bad way. If you are in conflict with someone in your life, you would probably make peace with this transit. It is all positive here. Mercury sextiles Mars, and that happens 11:29 p.m. It's really the next day. You're going to feel it. So April 8th, and it's going to be very busy, and yours is in the 9th house. So philosophy, religion, culture, traveling. Ooh, you probably will be traveling with this transit, or probably want to travel. Plannings of traveling will probably happen. Also, law is also a big thing. Legal difficulties. If there's a serious affliction in your 9th house, this could be quite badly for you when it comes to legal. So the problem is to avoid identifying your ego with what you believe. When you identify your ego with your ideas, you usually believe you are the idea. Okay, so be aware of that energy. And let's do some tarot for all my Scorpio placements. Okay, we have the 10 of Cups. It's very abundant and God's gift. I feel like it's all love, especially when it comes to family. Ooh, Nine of Cups. And there is something nostalgic here going on. Oops. Make a wish. Very content. It's very positive here. Juggling two things at once. Multitasking. Sorry. Nine of Cups here. So, it's like, look what I got. I have all this and very content. And then you're juggling at the same time. Let's see what else we have here. There's some backstabbing, and it's the end of a journey, and it's going to start anew. The pain is there, but something with words, something with communication. And let me pull the last one. Ooh, structure and Aries energy. So let me see what we have here, Scorpios. There's abundance when it comes to family, and you're very content. Also, you can make a wish with the Nine of Cups. And then you're able to juggle multiple things at the same time, multitasking, and a lot on your plate, and something with backstabbing, something with words hurting you, maybe people talking behind your back, gossiping. And then you have Aries energy and structure and a father figure. All that is happening for you during this Aries energy in April. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye. Okay, Sagittarius placements. Let's see what we have for Sagittarius. Your full moon is in the 11th house. You can enter... at this time, it's very emotional when it comes to friends and groups, and you feel more protective and supported by your friends more than usual. You examine your overall goals at this time with the full moon. And then also, too, you have Mercury is sextile Saturn the same day. Okay, so you have the full moon in your 11th house, which is all about your friends, and emotional contact with friends is very important for you, and feeling supported with this full moon. So this is not the energy of being alone. You're going to feel supported. Yes, you're going to feel supported. Then you have Mercury sextile Saturn, and your Mercury in the 6th house. Two different areas of manifesting here. There's health and work with this energy, so be aware of that. One problem to be careful about is criticizing others with this energy, with your Mercury in the 6th house. And you have Sun conjunct Chiron, and the Sun is highlighting a healing, and your Sun is in the 5th house during this whole Aries season. So the 5th house is very happy energy for the Sun. It's all about learning to express yourself and having fun and doing childlike activities. You're probably going to attract more children in your life. Don't get wrapped up in yourself and enjoying your environment. Don't forget to examine yourself this time and to be yourself, but also a time to become conscious of who you are. And this is also going to help heal you, because that day the Sun conjuncts Chiron. April 6th, remember, Mercury is in a retrograde shadow phase, so be aware of that. Mercury conjuncts the North Node April 6th. It happens at 10 p.m. So that is going to float over to the next day. And your Mercury is in the 6th house, and it's all about health. You're going to be thinking about health and fitness. You're going to be thinking about maybe even pets, your day-to-day activities, and working on that energy towards your life purpose and organization, and maybe even service to others. April 7th, Venus is sextile Neptune, and your Venus is in the 6th house, and you're going to find beauty again with working out, maybe with health, maybe through organization. Ooh, makes me think of those people who like make the closets very pretty. I can see you doing that with this energy. It's a good time for all matters relating to work and profession during this time, and good relationships both with your superiors and employers and employees. You'll find it necessary to for your desire to have amusement in the presence of a relationship. It may be necessary to confront difficulties that you have not handled earlier. It's a good time for health, and be aware of too much sweets, and because you could be overindulgent with that energy. Practical matters are important in this transit, and with relationships, now is perhaps the least romantic position. Venus in the sixth house. It's like romance. So you'll need to deal with more real life situations, and you're not into fantasies with that energy. Your Neptune is in the fourth house, and it's all about your home, your roots, your family, your self-care. Emotions, foundations, mother, children, women, and femininity. Your domestic and personal life will undergo many strange and subtle changes, reflecting psychological changes that are going to go through during this time with this fourth house placements. During this transit, you may begin to create in your mind an idea of what your home should be, and you'll work really hard to represent what your home should look like. Your home life may become a source of confusion at the same time, because Neptune brings little confusion and is going to bring confusion in your home. During this time, communication with your parents might be difficult because Neptune can't communicate. Okay, sometimes during this transit could be some sickness of a parent. But that is not likely unless there is difficult transit in the fourth house with you in your personal natal chart. So check that out. Mercury is in Taurus and a sextile Mars in Cancer, and your Mars is in the 8th house. We already talked about your Mercury, and your Mercury again is in the 6th house. Okay, so this transit could be very subtle, or it could be just outrightly just like in your face. It's hard to tell in advance because your ego drives will create a confrontation with something with the force of transformation, and you may not know this transformation is happening above. It could be happening inwardly and you just don't know. Okay, or it could be happening outwardly. Okay, so it could be like a physical change. It could be yes, a physical transitioning, and or just a transformation within. The 8th house is a house of values that you share with others. There may be conflict concerning values or objects that you value, and there could be a conflict with that. In marriage and partnerships, the two may disagree strongly with some jointly things that you guys own together. Sex could be very transformative with this transit as well. It may be great transit for a transformation, big or small. So it could be death or transitional death. It could be a birth or a physical birth. So it's very literal or figuratively. Okay, so let's do some tarot for you guys. And we're doing tarot for Sagittarius placements. And we have the Two of Cups. It's all about alignment and partnerships. Let's see what else we have. There's some resting that needs to be happening, some meditation. And maybe when it comes to partnerships, you need to meditate and rest. There's a lot of choices here, maybe illusions, maybe cloudy judgment. And then there is conflict as well. Let me see. Conflict when it comes to words, conflict when it comes to logic, and conflict when it comes to gossiping as well. And you need to change your perspective. You need to be more self-sacrificing. Let's see. So there are couples here, something you're in line with, and you need to meditate and relax and take pause, rest, physically rest probably as well. And then there is a lot of choices, illusions, and cloudiness, and it's causing conflict, and you need to change your perspective on it and take a pause. It's all about pausing and resting for you guys. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed your horoscopes of the month and your tarot reading. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Capricorn placement. Your full moon is in the 10th house. This transit brings professional and business concerns into focus. Put it in a way that will test you. Your most intimate personal life is on public display more than usual. You are not going to like that, okay? You may find it hard to hide things about yourself. Like you could have a public relationship argument, okay? A relationship argument in public, and that is going to drive you insane. You may be more emotional at work as well, and that is going to cause some closure for you, because this full moon is all about closure. Now, Mercury sextile Saturn, and in a nutshell, For the collective, that basically means like busy energy, okay, and paying attention to details and being very serious. Not busy energy, just very serious. And your Mercury is in the 5th house, so it's a good time to organize everything. Let me see. Get organized and mental activities. And Mercury is a planet of pranks, so there'll be a lot of pranks with this transit. It's all about fun. I'm thinking it was organization. No, it's all about fun and having very childlike and light energy. It's a good time for expressing your thoughts to yourself and communicating them to others. You can make it clear to people where you stand on a matter and explain everything effectively. Reading and writing or playing mental games will really be fun with this transit. Your Saturn is in the 3rd house, and the 3rd house is the structure of your mind, and there's limitations with it in speaking. And remember to listen to others. It's also day-to-day mental patterns, and there's going to be a lot of life lessons with your Saturn in the 3rd house. It's a house of your immediate environment too. So there is going to be some unconscious mental patterns dealing with your immediate environment. You may have trouble with people in your immediate environment, like a neighbor or someone who lives in your apartment. You're dealing with how your inner world relates to your outer world. That is what you get with that energy. Sun conjuncts Chiron, and Sun is giving light to what it's healing. And your Sun is in the 4th house during the Aries season. So it's all about your family, your roots, feminine energy, your mom, your grandmother, women, foundation. And at this time of the year, you focus your concerns upon your most intimate and personal life and the people who affected you the most, your family and your parents. Although you should consider you can continue to live up to the demands of the outer world because your personal life is independent with it. You should be more focused inwardly during this time of month, during Aries season. Go off by yourself and spend time by yourself. Be at home, okay? That's more important for you. You're probably a homebody with this energy, even though it's Aries, but your first instinct is to be at home because your Aries is in the sun. So you're probably moving and not thinking, just going off your gut when it comes to your home environment. April 7th, Venus is sextile Neptune, and your Venus is in the 5th house. Is a great time for fun entertainment, having a good time, activities pertaining to any of your childlike or love behavior. Again, in the same house, 5th house is creativity and fun. It's all what's going on with your theme in the home, okay? Also, you have Mercury in Taurus and it's sextile Venus in Cancer, and that is the energy of doing and being busy. And the first energy was about beauty. And beauty, and you're going to find it in childlike and creative ways. And now you have Mercury sextile Mars, which is very busy energy, but yours is in the 7th house. So it's going to be very busy energy with relationships. And you might have tension in your love life. And this house of relationship, but also the house of enemies. So be aware of that. People with who you can conflict. You might have some, because Mars is all about the war, okay? So be aware of this transition. Let's do some tarot for you guys and see what we have for my Capricorn placements. Try to avoid unnecessary conflict with others. Okay? Harmony relationships, you guys. First card is there is some movement, there is progression, there is travel. Capricorn loves to hear that. There is travel and movement towards a transition. And then we have the beginning of some inspiration, some creativity, some spirituality. And we do have a lot of creativity for you guys. Look at you guys. You guys are fighting off the haters, okay? Any conflict, you are fighting it. You are not with it. And there is a new journey. Okay, so there's movement, travel, transition. There is a new inspiration, new drive. You have to have some conflict. You're fighting here, but you're going to go on a new journey, and it's going to start something new and exciting in your life. So I hope you guys enjoyed your reading, and see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Aquarius placements. Your full moon is in the 9th house. It's a time of feeling a strong urge to get away from the daily routine and go out somewhere new. I know you're dealing with the moon, and the moon is like, no, I don't want to go anywhere new, but it won't be like far. Okay, just something out of the normal of your day-to-day life. You will be into mental journeys. It's also as a time to meet new friends. And remember, this is also a full moon. So there is some closure and some releasing with this energy as well. And we're dealing with a Libra full moon. So you will be interested in some type of relationship. So you might meet some people who are from another country. Now, Mercury sextiles Saturn the same day, April 5th. And your Mercury is in the 4th house, the house of the home and the roots. And femininity and mother. So this is a good time to stay away and not think negative. And you're trying to avoid confrontation with reality, but reflect and think. It's a good time to examine your personal and domestic life. This is an excellent transit to discuss with your intimate family about matters that is really important to you. You may drift back to events that occurred to you in the past. Saturn is in your 2nd house. You already had learned who you really are on your terms, and now it's in your 2nd house. It's all about learning your possessions and what you really value. There may be some financial loss and poverty with your Saturn in the 2nd house. This is not necessarily true in all cases, but what you truly value is really the lesson that you're getting here. Your sun is conjunct Chiron. The sun is going to put a light onto what you need to heal. And your sun is in the 3rd house during Aries season. So your immediate reactions, your day-to-day, how you travel, transportation, all of these things are going to really be big. Even communication, very big energy, and be aware of this. This is especially a good time to tell someone clearly how you feel about them, about a certain subject. Mercury conjunct North Node. This is an energy of thinking about your life purpose. And again, your Mercury is in the 4th house. So you're going to be thinking that through your home, through a feminine way, or through a feminine relative, mother or grandmother. Venus is sextile Neptune, and your Venus is in the 4th house. It's usually a peaceful time, and you want to be entertained at home, and you want to feel your house at ease, and maybe make your house very beautiful. Relationship with your parents are good, and redecorating is going to be a big deal, especially April 7th. I wonder if you're going to be buying things online to decorate your home, or doing like a Pinterest board to really make your home pretty. Also, it's an energy of being selfless, because with a loved one. So if you have a loved one, maybe decorate their room will probably be what really happens with this. Mercury in sextile Mars, and it happens that same night, April 7th, but it's going to happen, really feel it, April 8th. And yours is in the 6th house. It's all about health and fitness for you, pursuing health. You'll probably be really into working out. And you're going to be focused on today's work is going to work out for tomorrow. You should place your needs, the needs of others above your own. Not your needs. You're going to place the needs of others above your own. Mars through this transit could also have some health problems, such as infections, fevers, and accidents, which is really a result of being frustrated. So it's an ego energy, and release the ego. Okay. Keep up a program, a physical program, and have health as a focus. And don't bottle up frustrations. So let's do a tarot reading for you guys. We have persevere. That makes me think of like keep going, don't stop. The sun is very successful. So if you persevere, you're going to have success. And there are going to be many choices. I'm sorry if I'm putting it up too fast. There's going to be, I'll show it again. There's going to be many choices. Let's see. Ooh, there is a balance. This is very Libra energy, and maybe even law. Let's see what else. And rewards. Okay, so you guys have persevere, because there's going to be success. There's a lot of choices, maybe cloudy judgment, but the law is going to see it through. There is going to be balance. The truth will be happening. And then you have the Six of Wands. It's going to be very successful. There's going to be rewards. You're going to be on a stage. Everyone's going to be praising you. I hope you enjoy your reading, your horoscopes, and your tarot reading, and see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, Pisces. You guys are last. I'm so sorry, but welcome to, I'm mixing my tarot cards. I'm going to do the tarot cards at the end, but I just want to mix them now. Your Libra is in the 8th house. Your Libra full moon is in the 8th house. And we have that Libra full moon on the 5th. Your emotions, your experiencing is going to be more intense than usual. You will be experiencing encounters with people. Your experience with moods and feelings are quite different from your normal self. You're probably going to want to keep it a secret how you feel, especially things you're going to be possessive about things, probably things that don't belong to you. Okay, so be aware of that. This is a time your attachments of what you really are attached to, and what do they really serve you? Do you really need this physical thing or this thing that's not even yours? Mercury sextile Saturn, and your Mercury's in the 3rd house, and Mercury's at home in the 3rd house. It's all about thinking, communicating, transportation, and Mercury, you're meaning that the action is very intensified here. You will feel its energy much more stronger than usual. You may have many group discussions and conversations with this energy. You'll meet new people, possibly travel a bit with this energy. Sextile Saturn, so there's limitations, but it's very positive, so it's going to limit you in a good way. This is a good time for all intellectual activities, and to settle down and relax and be flexible is the energy you have here. Your Saturn is in the 1st house, so new beginnings and new internal growth. You started a new Saturn year, okay? For all my Pisces placements, because it's Saturn and Pisces, you got rid of all old aspects of things that no longer serve you in your life, and projects are complete. Your responsibilities will continue to be heavy, but your accomplishments may be great. Now is the time to turn your attention inward. Regardless of what type of person you are, this is a time for introspective and inner work. It's an excellent time for psychotherapy as well. Sun conjuncts Chiron April 5th, and the sun is giving light to what is healing, and your sun is in the 2nd house. Traditionally, the 2nd house is a house about money, and people think it's about real estate, but it could be movable property. In modern times, we refer to this house as resources and what we value. And during this month, you examine your relationship with your resources of your life, what serves you. And this is going to be during the whole Aries season. This can go too far because you may be obnoxious to others, because you're going to be so like almost flossy energy. So there's a need to assert your value system with this energy. This is going to help heal you just for that day. You get that? Mercury conjuncts the North Node that same day, but it happens at 10:03 p.m. So we're going to say it happens at night. And Mercury is in retrograde. Shadow phase begins. And Mercury in the 3rd house of thinking and communication, day-to-day activities, and neighbor, all that energy is going to be going towards your life purpose and one of those things. So something dealing maybe with your early education or extended family, and just how you think and communicate. It's going to help you get to your life purpose. April 7th, Venus is sextile Neptune, and your Venus is in the 3rd house. All about communication again. You're going to have pleasurable and amazing conversations during your social life. You can discover there's a amount of love in your everyday life. You also want to encounter beauty in your everyday surroundings, okay? And it's connected to Neptune, and it's sextile Neptune. So sextile Neptune means that it's going to be very beautiful and maybe giving to others, your day-to-day activity. You're going to be more aware of that energy of being selfish Okay, I hope I said this right. Not being selfish. Okay. Mercury sextiles Mars, and your Mars is in the 5th house. This is a time where you demand to really express yourself to others, what and who you are, and a lot of I am statements. It's much more likely that your energies will express a playful and in a supportive way. And relationships you desire is going to be really strong when it comes to the love department. You have children, you may be really... you may have real but not serious conflicts with them during this Mars energy. And perhaps the only flaw with this transit is that you will lack discipline, because it's all about having fun. Okay. Now let me do the tarot for my Pisces placements. And we have the 4 of Cups. It's about contemplation. Maybe you're not being grateful for what you have. Let's see what God has given you. Oh, cards are falling. Let's see what we have that fell. There is someone here who is grateful. So it's like God is giving you things, and it's someone who is content. It's also a make-a-wish, content with what they have. And then the 4 of Swords is meditating and resting. And we have traditional way of learning things and spirituality. I'm going to show them all. And the sun has come out with all of this. So your sun, again, is in the 2nd house. Is all about values. So I wonder, you have the energy of looking at your values and the things that you have, and you're not grateful for it. And then you have a lot. Okay. You are very content with the things you have, but you're not grateful for it. But then we have someone who needs to seek solitude and meditate and maybe even pray spiritually. Here we go. Seek spiritual guidance. And then lastly, there is success at the end of the road. Okay. God has given you all this, and your sun during Aries is in the 2nd house. So be aware of your values and your property and your resources. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed your reading. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Sorry if I just yelled that. And see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye.